you today. You know, it is an amazing thing when God puts you in places to expand your territory, because that's really what it's all about. He will put you in a place where your territory is enlarged, and it's all about making sure that you can carry out His will. Hold on. Oh, wait. All right. Hold on. So let's get this party started. I just realized that I hadn't pushed the other button so that people could get out of the waiting room. So now we can get going. We can get everybody out of the waiting room and get them into here, into the Zoom where they need to be. All right, wonderful. So anyway, as I said, we are going to make sure that we cover everything that we need to help us be who God has created us to carry out the purposes that God created us to carry out. That's the essentials of what it is that we are promoting and trying to get across in this Brilliance Accelerator. It is so incredibly, hold on, guys. You know me. When I'm live, I don't have a problem telling y'all something is wrong. And so I need to turn the volume down on my other machine so it doesn't keep dinging in the middle of our broadcast. You know, live is live. It is all the way live. And I thank God that I have the opportunity to be transparent. I don't try to say that I got it all together, but I will continue to press into that place of making sure that I can keep it together. So yes, I will continue to do that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So the whole purpose of the Brilliance Accelerator is first and foremost, that you discover the greatness that God placed within you. And I think we covered that well last night. You were created for greatness, but you were also created on purpose, for purpose. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about your purpose, because if you tap into who you are, then you will find what it was that you were created to do. I like to say it like this: if you be who you be, you'll do what you do. If you be who you be, you will do what you do. And I say that because I happen to know that when you are allowing the authenticity of who God created you to be shine through, and you're embracing it, you're embracing your uniqueness, then you will absolutely positively come to understand that, oh, I have value, I have worth, and I have a job to do. And it's not even work, because it becomes my passion, because it's part of my purpose. And I think that's an incredible thing that God set up within us. He made sure that when we tapped into that specific call, that purpose on our lives, we have many assignments, but our purpose doesn't change. All right. You'll be given an assignment to take care of somebody today. You'll be assigned to a specific position on a job. You'll be assigned to your own company. You'll be assigned to different seasons of life and the different things that you walk through, but they're all uniquely tied in to your purpose. And so that's why it's really, really important to first and foremost tap into the inside, to tap into who God created you to be, to tap into why you are here. And we're going to talk about that tonight. That is going to be the crux of what we're going to dive into. So I want to bring up my PowerPoint here so that I will be able to share, and you will be able to see on your screen the PowerPoint. So let me get it up and then get it into presenter mode. Start here, and there we go. Okay, so today is day 2. And today is talking about walking in strategic purpose. That's what we're focusing on today. So in that, we need to let you know what the theme is. So here's the introduction, which I kind of already gave you. You already know it's all going to be about purpose tonight. It's going to be about purpose. Purpose isn't just knowing what you're called to do, it's having a strategy to walk it out with clarity, consistency, and confidence. That's very, very important. Not just a strategy, because you can have a strategy to do anything, but that does not mean that you're carrying it out according to your purpose. What sets that apart, what delineates that from just doing what you do, is the fact that God will breathe on what it is that He's given you to do to carry out your purpose. That's the distinct difference. It really, really is. When God sets you up for a specific assignment, He will breathe on that assignment. Ask me how I know. I'm a living witness. Things are happening right now in my life that I'm just going, whoa, look at God. It's like, it's not even where I can take credit for anything. I follow His directive. If He points something out to me, He says, do that, I do that. If He says, speak to this person, I speak to that person. If He says, hire this person, I hire this person. And it all works in sync with what His plan and purpose is. And so that's why it is so important that we tap into Him, we stay aligned with Him. And it's not just about a strategy. It's not just knowing what you're called to do, but it's having a strategy. Like, okay, so you can know what you're called to do, you can have a strategy, but to walk that strategy out with clarity, consistency, and confidence, that takes God. Totally takes God. Okay, totally takes God. So now we're going to talk a little bit about understanding purpose. What is purpose? Purpose is the divine intention behind your existence. Let's back up and repeat that one again. Purpose is the divine intention behind your existence. Okay. This is why I said you've got to be connected to your creator. You've got to be connected to God because it's His intention for your existence. He created you on purpose for purpose, and He is the one that will help you walk that purpose out. It is not just what you do, not just what you do, it's the why behind everything you're called to build, to release, and influence. The why. What's the why? Well, the why is in the mind of the creator. Only the creator knows why he created what he created. I'm sitting in a chair and it's a really good, nice chair. But you know what? This chair was made for me to sit in. Now, if I got up here and stood in this chair and fell out the chair, I can't blame the maker of the chair because he didn't make it for me to stand in. He made it for me to sit in, for the dynamics of it to support me in a sitting position, not standing in it. Because you know, we stand in chairs all the time. But if I lean to the right or lean to the left, the chair may topple over because it's off balance. Why? Because I'm not using it for the purpose for which it was created. So I'm hoping that's sinking in and you can understand that. It's heaven's assignment for your life, and it is deeply rooted in your identity. That's why you have to know who you are. That's why you have to tap into your greatness. That's why you have to know what God says about you. That's what identifies you. Not even what you say about you. Okay. We can give affirmations, we can make declarations, but if they don't align with what God said about you, what He said was the truth about you, then all you're doing is just vain repetition. All you're doing is just uttering things. The word of God said that if you open your mouth, He will fill it. When you open your mouth and you allow Him to speak through you, even to you, then your affirmations have weight. Then your declarations mean something. But if all you're doing is regurgitating what somebody else told you to say, and it's not rooted and grounded in what God has said about you, it's just vain repetition. Now, we're going to do a couple of declarations as we go through this tonight. But I have sought the Lord to give you these declarations. And you then need to seek the Lord to say, does this hold true for my life? And that's in anything. I have one of my mentors, I was talking to her on Sunday, and she has somebody doing something for her to set up her corporation. And I asked her, I said, well, and she said the person was ill. And so she was waiting on them to get better and to get the approval on everything. I said, well, did you read over everything that, she had? Did she send it to you? She said, oh, no, no, she did it for somebody else. And I trust that. And I was just like, no, 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 no. Legal paperwork that somebody is submitting on your behalf, you need to see before it's submitted. It's like that with your purpose. If you're going to go out and do something that you feel is your purpose, you need to let the person, the entity, God Almighty, who gave you that purpose, who created you for that purpose, have a say so in that purpose. Like, Lord, this is what I feel like you're calling me to. But I want to check it with you first because I don't want to get distracted. And we're going to talk about that. I don't want to get off kilter. I don't want to chase shiny objects. I don't want to do all the things that I know that I can do if I don't stay laser focused, if I'm not focused in on what it is that you have called me to do. So let's go a step further. There are some key truths that you need to know about purpose. All right. We hear that word all the time, and people are forever trying to find their purpose. It's not hard, guys. It's really not a hard thing to do. All you have to do is tap into the person that gave you the purpose. Just tap into God. Jeremiah 29:11, I believe it is, says, for I know the plans I have for you, plans of good and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Well, part of those plans of good and not of evil are your purpose. He knew what he had planned for you when he breathed you out into this earth realm. When you became a walking, breathing entity in your earth suit, he gave your spirit the authority to walk this earth realm in your earth suit because he knew the plans and the purpose he had for you. Purpose is discovered, it is not invented. You cannot invent something in your mind and say, this is my purpose. No, you've got to go to the source, the creator, the one that created you on purpose, for purpose. What is my purpose? Am I being redundant? Yes, I am, because I really, really want you to get that in your psyche, in your heart, and in your spirit, okay? Your purpose is rooted and grounded in him. You don't have to create it. It's already inside you, waiting to be revealed through intimacy with God and alignment with his word. See, I know what I'm saying, I know what I'm teaching. I get ahead of myself sometimes, but it's intrinsically birthed within me to get it into you. All right? To know that purpose is discovered, not invented. You discover it through intimacy with God and alignment with his word. I think I shared this last night, but I'm going to share it again tonight. Something that my apostle tells us all the time. If you read what is written, you'll hear what is spoken. If you read what is written, you'll hear what is spoken. What does that mean? If you read the word of God, then you can identify when you're hearing the voice of God, because he's not going to deviate from his word. He said that heaven and earth will pass away before his word will fail. He put his word above his name. It's about his word. It's about his word. So you need to get intimate with him. You need to be in the Bible. You need to have time of prayer and fasting. You need to get in front of his face. Lord, I invite you into my presence. Yeah, he's God. He's everywhere. He's omnipotent. He's omnipresent. He's all of that. But he's also a gentle God. And he will not invade you. He will not invade you. He will wait until you invite him in. This is why He gave you the freedom of choice so that you would invite him into you, into your heart, into your sphere, your atmosphere, into your psyche, your mind. He wants to be in all of those places. He wants his spirit living and breathing within you. He wants all of that, but only if you want him there. Only if you want him there. And so that's why you have to invite him and be intimate with him in that place of koinonia, that place of fellowship. And when you're with him in that place of fellowship, then you can align yourself with his word and you will find the truth about your promise, your purpose. I'm sorry. Purpose is eternal. It never ends. It was from the beginning to the ending. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Your purpose is not going to end just because this earth suit goes someplace. It's ongoing. You leave it behind here in this earth realm in your legacy. Your purpose will cause you to be a generational changer. It will cause you to breathe into multiple generations with what he has given you to insert into this earth realm. It's so deep. It's so immense and unbelievable. It's like, you can't, you literally, you cannot get the big head about your purpose when you recognize and understand the enormity of it, because you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I didn't think this up, and I can't do this on my own. And yeah, Lord, I need you. That's the bottom line. That's the place it's going to take you. That's the place it's going to take you. It transcends careers, roles, or seasons. It transcends all of that. Your assignments may shift. Like I said a few minutes ago, your assignments may shift, but your purpose remains rooted in God's original intent for your life. When he breathed you out. We get so caught up in mommy and daddy. I'm a firm believer. He orchestrated and he decided which two people he was going to allow to consummate your beginning, but it was him. It was him that breathed the breath of life into you. It was him that said, dry bones live. It was him that has resurrected you from the ash multiple times in your life, if your life is anything like mine. So I can't take credit for it. I put up a post today because I'm just in awe of what God is doing. And when I see it, unfolding right before my eyes, it's like, you may think that I'm like bragging, but no, what I'm saying is look at God, because what he is doing, this ain't about man. He'll use man to bring it to pass, but no, it is just too enormous. It's just too like, really, Lord? Wow, seriously, it's amazing. All right, we're gonna move on. So there are some more key truths about purpose that we want to talk about. Purpose is kingdom centered, not self-centered. Again, you won't get the big hat, okay, over what you're doing, because you recognize and realize that you could not be doing this on your own. It's not just about you. Now, I'm not going to say it's not about you, because you have a role to play in it, but it's not just about you. It's about you and everybody that God has connected you to, and the generations that come up behind them. Each one reach one. And as you reach one, that one will reach somebody else, who will reach somebody else, who will reach somebody else. And before you know it, it's just that multiplication thing. It's like network marketing, all right? Your tree just continues to grow because you're flowing in your purpose. So purpose is kingdom-centered, not self-centered. It's not about chasing platform. It's about fulfilling your divine portion and impacting lives for God's glory. I am telling you, I'm so telling you, it is not just about you. It is about you, but not just about you. It is about your fulfilling your divine portion and impacting lives for God's glory. You are his glory bearers. We get caught up in, well, God will not share his glory with another. Well, no, he won't share his glory with another, but you and he are one. So yes, he's going to share his glory with you. Go to John 17, the prayer that Christ prayed with the Father. Lord, make them one with us as you and I are one. So he's not sharing his glory with another. He's sharing his glory with himself because we are one with him. That's why you got to keep him involved every step of the way. Every step of the way. I love what he said to Jeremiah. This just God, okay, so like 30 some years ago, it just really, really it did something within me when I read this. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before I formed you in the womb. That's when you don't get caught up in mommy and daddy issues. Before you were born, I set you apart. I set you apart. So like when I tell you you were not a mistake, right there, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. You were not a mistake. See, I could have lived life thinking that I was a mistake. My mother conceived, sperm donor ran on about his business, didn't want nothing to do with either one of us. She ran into hardship, got put out because she was carrying me, winds up in a home for unwed mothers, gives me up for adoption. So I could have come up with this mind psyche. Well, I was a mistake. I shouldn't have been here in the first place. I, made a hardship for my mother. Yada, 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 yada. No, no, I was not a mistake. See, before he formed me in her womb, he already knew me and had set me apart for what he had called me to do. I said this yesterday, I think. I've done so many different broadcasts here lately. But anyway, it was like I was the answer for prayer before I even arrived here. So were you. A prayer that had been prayed prompted your being in this earth realm at this appointed time because God is always the answer. God is always the answer. So he always has what you need to answer what you need. And so if he created you on purpose, he created you because you carry the answer. That's what's inside of you. You carry the answer for what someone needs. So that's why you can't get caught up in the pity parties and the, oh, well, this happened and whatever you are the product of. Okay, I know some of it is very hurtful, some of it is very painful. You may have been the product of incest. You may have been the product of rape. You may have been the product of somebody just having a good time and keeping going like I was. Whatever it was, that God healed that so that you can walk forth in your purpose because your being here was not a mistake. I'm going to say that over and over and over until it resonates within you. You are not a mistake. Romans 8 and 28. Do you know? I mean, it's like I can close my eyes and stand on my head and repeat the scripture because for like about 2 or 3 years straight, I would pick up the word, I would listen for where God wanted me to go, and the very first place he would send me is Romans 8 and 28. Over and over and over until I got it into my spirit and my psyche because I was walking through a very difficult time. And I needed to really take that within me that we know all, ALL, all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. It may not feel good at the time. It may be something that somebody did to you. It may be something that you did to somebody. Does not matter. Because when you submit it and you surrender it to God, He works it. He works it. He works it. I my spiritual grandfather, Bishop Carl C. Alexander, he went on to be with the Lord probably about 3 years ago now. Um, but he taught a lesson that I think I was in Atlanta and he was teaching here in Vegas and I was watching it on live stream, right? I was watching it on Facebook and he taught this lesson that revolutionized how I saw myself. And I thought I was cool. I was good. I'd been saved like 30 some years by that time, right? I got 37 years in now. But it's like, it never dawned on me about my storyline and how your storyline becomes interwoven into your purpose and it carries you into where God will have you to be. And so I will always use me as an example. All right. So the fact that I had my children so young, I had my son at 14 and my daughter 8 days after I turned 16. And as I say all the time, I figured that out. I ain't have no more. But, I could have been in that state of mind of, that probably wasn't good. That probably wasn't God's plan, yada, yada, yada. But when I started hearing about the storyline and he used Jacob as the example. And I mean, the light bulb went off because when Jacob and Esau was in their mother's womb, God spoke a word over them to their mother and said that the younger one would rule over the older one. And we know that's not the way of the Jewish culture. The oldest one is born with the birthright. But look how his story unfolded. And in the end, it was just as God said. We give Jacob such a bad rap. Oh, he was a supplanter. He was a trickster. He was this, he was that. No, boo. First and foremost, his mother is the one who told them to do the trick on his father. It wasn't him coming up with it. Yes, he did it, but that was his mom. His brother gave up his birthright to him just so he could eat some soup. He didn't take it, he exchanged for it. So while we're sitting around giving all these people these bad reputations, these bad reps, what they've been through, what they've walked through, may just be part of their storyline because all, A-L-L, all things work together for good to those who love God. Now he's calling out a specific people here that he's saying all things work together for good. He didn't say all people. He said specifically to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. So stop being so hard on yourself about what has happened in your past, because I promise you, okay, he will woven it in, utilize it to his glory and to your good. He'll do it. I promise you. I am a living witness. Okay. This is good to me. I hope it's good to you. Let me keep going. Let me keep going because time is ticking. Okay. Purpose. Purpose is a person before it is a plan. Here's your reference. All things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, were created by and for Jesus Christ. That's Colossians 1:16. Okay. And then we go back to Romans 8:28, where we know all things. Okay. Purpose was Christ. John said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Purpose was wrapped up, woven in Jesus Christ. His purpose was to come here so that we could be reconciled back to the Father. We're all caught up in the forgiveness of sin. Well, why did we need to be forgiven of our sin? So that we could be rectified back into the Father. It ain't about run and skip to my little to heaven. Oh my goodness. We get so caught up in, okay, I'm saved. I prayed the sinner's prayer. And you think that's it. I got my get out of hell free card. And that's it. So now I'm good. I can go on about life and do what I need to do and what I want to do. No, no, boo. He didn't just come for your sins. He came so that you could be forgiven for your sins. He was that offering. But the main reason why? So you could be reconciled back to the Father, because that sin separated you from him. And he wanted his children back. It's the love of a father that did that. The love of the Father. And it's an amazing thing. It is such an amazing thing. And we miss it. We miss it. We get caught up in traditionalism and the fact that, oh, okay, well, Christ came just to save us, save the lost. Yeah, but why? Because you have a purpose, because you have purpose to fulfill. So he needed you to be reconciled back unto the Father so that you will have relationship once again with the Father, so that you could commune with the Father and figure out your purpose by your intimacy with the Father. He reconciled you back to the Father. And now you can discover your purpose. Purpose is rooted in relationship with the Creator. It's all about relationship. It's not about religion. If you are in a traditional, quote unquote, religious box, please free yourself. Please free yourself. You have to free yourself. And you're going to give me one moment to free my dog because I'm doing this from home. My puppy's had a little rough time and I just need to let her out. Give me one moment. I told you, you know me in life. Life be lifing, and I just keep lifing with it because I'm not going to miss a beat, okay? Your relationship is what makes the difference. Now, once you discover your purpose, now you really need to stay even closer to the Father, because you need to write out the blueprint. And again, it's in the mind of the Creator, why he created you. So you need his assistance with your blueprint. So let's identify your faith plus function map. Your faith plus function map. It's what you're called to do and how it should manifest. Okay, so we're going to break this down. We're going to break it down in vision, goals, and action steps. So here are the elements, the roles, and the examples. So the vision is the prophetic picture. That's what God paints within you, in your imagination, in your mindset, in your dreams. He gives you the prophetic picture. He gives you the vision. He lets you see afar off. And when you see it, it'll be like, whoa. But then you have to back up and set goals and actions. So the example for vision is to empower leaders globally to walk in brilliance and purpose, to walk in your brilliance and your purpose. Hi, this is the Brilliance Accelerator webinar. Okay. It is to empower you. You need vision, not just sight, but vision, so that you can see. You can see. You have to see afar off. If you cannot see it, then how are you going to work your way to it? So you got to see it, which is why he will give you that prophetic picture. And then you have to set the goals. Now you've seen it, but now you have to have goals, measurable milestones to get to where you need to get to see the vision come to pass, to see it manifest. To do that, you need to work on some things. Okay, this is like homework for you. So you need to launch 3 cohorts, grow email lists, publish devotionals. These are examples. Okay, Bottom line is you need to do something, all right? And you need to do it according to what God gives you, and so that you have measurable milestones, all right? You have something to measure, to gauge your progress against. That's why you write a business plan, so that you can come back, and you're taught, I teach, that you redo your business plan every 5 years, because you need to see, am I on course? You need to take it out and review it every year. But at 5 years, you need to revamp. And then you may have a vision plan. My mentor teaches us to do a vision plan, a 20-year vision plan. I'm like, in 20 years, I'll be almost 90. Literally, I'll be okay. I will be a year and 2 months from 90. But if the Lord's will that I'm still here, then I believe I will still be in my right mind and have the energy. I may be doing it just sitting down like this. I may not be walking stages anymore, but I will have the energy, and I will have the clarity of mind to continue in what He's called me to do, because I'm not going to be here past my purpose. As long as my purpose still is relevant in this earth realm, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be walking in it. My goal is to leave nothing undone that He created me to do. And that should be your goal as well. So now, actions, tactical execution steps. Again, these are just examples. Build a page, create content, promote on platforms, delegate a team. See, these are things that I have to do and that I'm in the midst of doing. But your purpose may be different. Your purpose may not be to the global stage. Mine is. God said, ask me and I'll give you the nations. And I said, okay, I'm asking. And He said, okay, I'm doing it. And literally, something happened today that totally blew my mind. And I have been launched globally, literally, in places I didn't even know existed. Okay. But this is God. This is God. He gave me a mandate last year. 1 year ago this month, last August, I did a spiritual business retreat in the Smoky Mountains. He told me, take Lioness Warrior Kingdom Global. And I said, okay. And I'm watching Him unfold it. When He gives you a directive like that, you don't need to worry about how. He's the how. And I have always called myself a why person. I don't need to know how, I just need to know why. But I have learned, following Him, I don't even have to know why all the time. Sometimes I'm like, okay, Daddy, why? But I've gotten to a place where if He explains, great. If He doesn't, that's okay too. Why? Because I followed Him long enough to know He knows the plans and purposes He has for me. And He knows tomorrow. I don't. He may have given me a big picture and I see it far off, but getting day by day, when I wake up in the morning, what are we doing today, Daddy? Because He knows what that day unfolds. I don't. I can sit there, I can have my to-do list done and get up and I'm raring to go. And just like that, snap of a finger, blink of an eye, things change. Everything changes. Everything changes. So I've learned, Lord, let me just flow. Let me just roll with the punches. Okay. Let me just flow. So, so those are the things that you need to focus on, making sure that you're setting, you're getting your vision, you've got goals, and now you have action steps. Now, when you do that, do not allow distractions to come along and take you off the plan. Don't allow distractions to take you off the plan, okay? And pretty shiny objects. Now, everybody that knows me knows I'm the bling queen. I love bling. I love shininess. I love things that go sparkle and twinkle, twinkle. But I have to make sure that I don't let shiny objects take me away. Like I've learned, all things that are good are not God. All things, as they say, all glitter is not gold. I've learned that. So I have to be consistent, All right. Because shiny object syndrome kills consistency. So I have to be consistent in staying before him and not allowing things to take me off track because it's really easy to do. Like you'll see something, it'll pop up. This is why I'm in the flow that I am. He will highlight because I'll look and I'll be like, no, no, no. Because I go and wait until I have a check in my spirit. My VA, he's on here with us this evening. I can't tell you, if y'all are on LinkedIn, you know how many people drop into your mailbox that they have virtual assistant services. I can't even begin to count them over the years. Okay. One after another, after another, after another. This young man reached out and he was highlighted to me by the Spirit, by the Holy Spirit. I didn't know anything about him, but I was led, set up a call. Out of all these, probably if I say 50 people, I'm undergirding. Okay, probably 50 in the past 6 months. All right. No, 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 no. Knowing that I needed the help, but no, 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 no. Until God highlighted who he had. Now, had no idea he was a believer, had no idea his work ethic. I had no idea of anything. I loved his cover letter. It was well written. And it was like, okay. And when I met with him, I liked he was articulate and what have you, but it was highlighted by God to me. And he has been nothing but a blessing. So I know when I listen to the Lord, when I move on what he tells me to move on, he has purpose in it. That's the place that you have to get to. And that's where your purpose begins to unfold. Now, so let's talk about some tools, some decision filters, some boundaries, some accountability, because yes, we need all of those to get to where we need to get to. So we want to build something that's going to last. And if we're going to do that, we need sustainable strategy. So we need systems, we need calendars, we need partnership, we need tech. We need all of these things, but we're going to zero in tonight on systems because it's really, really important. Because if you set up a system, then your business and whatever you're doing can flow while you're out doing what you need to do. Okay. I know, and I knew it was time that I needed an assistant because I cannot spend all my time all day sitting in front of the computer doing posts and creating content and doing all of those things. That's not what I'm called to. I'm called to what I'm doing right now. I'm called to teach. I'm called to minister. I'm called to coach, called to mentor. I'm called to be on the stage, not just sitting here doing tasks. So at the appointed time, like I am now basically full swing into being able to spend my days doing what God called me to do, as opposed to trying to slide it in between meetings on the job. So now I have maybe 3 meetings a week on the job. I am not involved in the day to day. God set it up so that still getting paid. Thank you, Jesus. And I'm now building what he called me to build. So let me tell you, you really have to align and just flow with his flow. He will put you in the position that he needs you in to carry out what he called you for. Reference. The Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Now, write the vision, make it plain is what we hear all the time, Habakkuk 2:2. We normally look at that for other people's behalf. So we're going to write our vision and we're going to give it to the other people. We're going to give it to our employees. We're going to give it to who needs to have it so they can run with it. First person you need to write that vision down for is you. Okay. So that you can read what God is saying to you and you can run with it. You can set up the systems and the things that you need to carry it out. That's the first person that needs to read it. So systems. Your systems is your operational backbone. What is it? Systems are the workflows, the processes, and frameworks that support your day-to-day operations. Without them, vision leaks. Kingdom insight, God is a God of order. 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. All right. So, yes, you have purpose. He created you, but he is such a strategic God that he was strategic in your creation. He's strategic in how he carries you. He's strategic in how he downloads within you so you can carry it out. Why would you think he wouldn't want you to be strategic in how you're carrying it out? That's what systems will help you do. Systems honors the vision he gave you by structuring it for sustainability. What you're building is not some fly by night operation. You're building legacy. You're building generational wealth. You're building things that will carry on long after you're gone. So you need to put systems in place so that they operate properly. Now, here's some questions to consider. What repeatable task can be systematized or automated? Now, I'm back in school to learn AI because I want to learn it to a place where I can automate almost everything. And it's a tool. So I want, and I teach it in my spiritual business retreats, but I teach it from a limited vantage point because I teach it from just what I know. And even teaching it from just what I know, we create whole companies in a week because of AI, because it's a tool. Whatever is repeatable task, find out how you can automate it. That's not to get rid of somebody's job. That's to better equip the person that's doing the job. Now, when I learn what I'm learning, guess who I'm going to pass it off to so that he can take it and keep going with it? You want to make sure that everything has a system, okay? Do I have documented workflows for content, outreach, or onboarding? Well, do you? I mean, that's something that you need to talk about. Documented workflows. Like he and I right now, we're having to back up because the Unstoppable Lioness broadcast is now being syndicated. And I told you I'll use me as being transparent. And as I was doing all of these shows, never crossed my mind it was going to go into syndication as a podcast. So did I have run of shows every show? Mm-mm. Did I have all of these different things spelled out that you need when you upload a syndicated podcast for every show? No, because hey, the Lionesses and I were getting together and we were doing the show, and hey, and there you go, and moving on to the next week. Now I've got to go back and with his assistance and build all these things for every show. I've got about 30 shows in the can. So now I got to backtrack and get put it in AI, get it summarized, get the titles, know who all of the guest speakers were, all of these different things. Had I had a system in place as I was going, see, that's on me. That's on me because I took it lightly. Because this is something I can do all day, every day. I can jump on a computer or on a screen and record. You give me a topic, I got it. Okay, let's go. I don't, no notes, whatever. Let's just do it. That does not make up for systems. That does not make up for properly documenting the workflows. So this is a very valuable lesson that I am learning now that I got to do backtrack work. All right. I'm trying to get it out here for you so you don't have to do backtrack work. Okay. All right. Where are things falling through the cracks? That's something that you need to ask. So I don't think I finished that. Do you, or do I have documented workflows for content, outreach, or onboarding? Very, very important. And I know these things because I did it for my job. We had specific checklists and everything that we had to do for onboarding and offboarding. We have to do a report, which is an audit every year. And if you don't have these documentations in place, you fail your audit. So yeah, lesson learned. I'm gonna make sure going forward that I have all of this documented. Where are things falling through the cracks? Well, for me, that's where it fell through the cracks. I was implementing, I was doing, I was out there, I was doing, but I had not documented the workflows. So learn from my lesson. All right, examples. Onboarding systems for clients or mentees. Content repurposing systems. Email nurture sequences. So these are, and again, this it all depends on what your purpose is. Maybe you're a chef. Okay, so maybe your purpose is to make sure you got all of your recipes documented the exact way you want it fixed. Because if you open a restaurant, and especially if it turns into a franchise or a chain, you want every time that meal is prepared, you want to prepare the same way. You need to document. Now, I do have onboarding systems for my mentees. I have that documented. They have forms to fill out. I have the lesson plans all written out. That part was documented. So I'm not a total screw up, but I just didn't do it for the broadcast because thank you. What I didn't do was leave room for God. That's what I didn't do. I felt like we were doing it. It was great. And I was only thinking about the here and the now. I didn't leave room for God to take it and expand it, because that's what he's just done. So now it's going to be syndicated on all the major networks. Now everything has to be in play. So I didn't leave room for God. Yeah, that was me. Okay. So I've been honest with you about my shortcomings. I want you to be honest with you about yours. What's one area where you've lacked strategy in walking out your calling, where you did not strategize and document while you were walking out your calling? Because I want you to be honest with yourself and write it down and correct it before you're under the wire to correct it in a hurry with 999 other things going on at the same time. All right. Be honest with yourself and list that. Declaration. I don't just have purpose. I don't just have purpose. Let that sink in. I don't just have purpose. I walk in purpose with divine strategy. You're walking in purpose with divine strategy. And that's why you have to make sure that you stay connected with God, you stay aligned with Him, and you make sure that you're carrying out your steps according to what He is orchestrating. Okay. Because you need the divine strategy for Him to be God. All right. So, closing activation. I want you to create yourself a 3-month purpose map. And in this just 3 months, and over the next 3 months, I want you to have one major goal on it, 3 strategic steps to get to that goal, and you need an accountability partner. You need somebody that's going to align with you and question you. Did you get such and such done? Listen, bless his heart. Michael is like on me about, okay, doctor, did you don't just, and he's so sweet with it. Just a reminder, we need it's like, okay, I got all of this, but okay. But he's my accountability partner because he's right. There's certain things that he needs from me so he can carry out his job. I get it. You need somebody that's going to be an accountability partner for you and to keep you away from the pretty shiny objects that you want to go chase, that will keep you on the straight and narrow. Not a drill sergeant, not somebody that's going to be micromanaging you. Because if you're like me, I can't. I don't micromanage, and I can't stand to be micromanaged. Okay. If I give you something, I just think it's done. All right. Just let me know if you got problems, and then we'll deal with it. but you need somebody that will keep you accountable, that will keep you accountable to you. Not so much accountable to them, accountable to you, because you are going to walk in the greatness for which you were created. So you're going to be the very best version of who you are. And so you have to be accountable to you. And sometimes somebody needs to just give you a little nudge to help you stay accountable. All right. So now I pray that this has been a blessing for you. I'm going to stop the sharing now. And this is what it's all about. It's about carrying out the purposes of God for your life. It's about making sure that you're doing kingdom business. This is a slide from a webinar I did last year, I believe it was. But I came in here and I was just like, because I'm on my laptop, I'm not on my big computer today, and I've got all these other backdrops in the big one, and it's just like, okay, I need something to put behind me on this one. And this was there. But you know what? It had purpose because this is exactly what we're doing. We're cultivating a culture of empowerment and legacy. As we're dealing with this Brilliance Accelerator, as we're dealing with finding out about our greatness and who we really were created to be, and now tapping into our purpose, as we're doing that so that we can cultivate a culture of empowerment and legacy. Okay. That's really, really important and what it's all about. So now I am going to ask Michael to put the link for VIP in the chat. If you I know a couple of you do have VIP. So, and yeah, it's been a very, very busy day. I will get you the link for it. Okay. I'll get you the link for you to get into the VIP session. Okay. I will pull that for you momentarily and I will send it directly to you. Okay. I'm not going to put it here in the chat because everybody didn't sign up for VIP. But if you want to and you want to be a part of VIP, then there's a link and you can do that. And what VIP gives you is the recordings from all 3 nights. I have a workbook that comes with the VIP, and then you get a session, which we're getting ready to go into, where you can have Q&A with me. All right. I'm not all of that, but I will do the very best I can to answer whatever it is that you need to answer and allow God to speak through me to you. How about that? Okay. All right, all right. I hope this has been helpful. And I have definitely enjoyed my time with you. And we got one more night to go. We got one more night to go. I can't wait till tomorrow night. It is going to be fire as we close this out. All right. All right.